Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to LeTip Live. LeTip is an organization of like-minded individuals coming together to help each other's businesses grow and flourish. And today we have a special guest. We have a special treat. We're going to be learning about Matt Cannarozzi from Seal Tech. We're going to get to know him. Going to figure out about his business. And we're going to have a fun little time. We also want to remind you, we are live. So if you have a question, comment, or a concern, you can put it in the comments section and we'll answer it live with Matt today. And with further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Matt Cannarozzi.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. So let's dive right into it. And for the people who don't know you yet, what is Seal Tech asphalt management, and what do you guys specialize in?
So Seal Tech is a driveway seal coating. It helps prolong the life of your driveway. It protects it from the ultraviolet rays. Cosmetically, it makes it look brand new, like it's just been paved. So that's basically what we do.
Awesome. So what made you get into the business in the first place?
Well, the first house that I bought, a paving company came and paved my driveway, and I'm going back almost 30 years ago. And I was a police officer at the time, and he said, there was a lot of money to be made in seal coating. There wasn't that many companies out there doing it. So he asked me if I was interested in doing it, and I said, that I was. So we started a company together. It was just a brief company, but then I just went out on my own, and from there it was just, I just continued it.
Awesome. What's something that most people completely misunderstand about asphalt management?
I think that they let it go. They don't maintain their driveway. You spend a lot of money in the beginning paving it, and then you just let it go to the point where it dries out, and they don't realize that the maintenance is how to keep your investment of your driveway. So,
well, and going along with that, how do you know when it's time to seal coat or repair or completely redo it? Like what are the telltale signs?
Yes. Driveway seal coating is again, I think it's cosmetic, but there's also some seal coating properties. And once your driveway starts to lose that luster, it starts graying or starts looking white, or possibly a bad winter like we just had. Sometimes you start getting a small hairline crack, and if you don't treat it, it'll then spread to another crack, and it's like a Pandora's box. So
absolutely awesome. So we're living in New Jersey, where I would say 50% of the ground is asphalt, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the gigs and jobs that you guys do? Do you do like basic driveway? Do you do a whole mall parking lot? What is your specialty?
Yeah, we we do a lot of commercial. That's probably primarily what we do. We work for property management groups. We do HOAs, associations, and we do a lot of residential as well. So we usually kind of like do our commercial big jobs, and then in between, while we're waiting on other jobs, we do our residential driveways.
Nice. Beautiful. So if someone neglects their asphalt for too long, like what happens? Like, do they just fall into a big pit? Like, what happens if you neglect it for too long?
Well, usually what happens is, and we've all seen driveways where, again, over years of not, seal coating it or putting some hot rubberized tar in the cracks, they gradually just start deteriorating to the point where, one crack leads into 2, 3. An industry term is called spider cracks or alligatoring, and that's where there's so many small little cracks in a driveway that now you're almost beyond the seal coating. You're gonna have to rip up the whole driveway and redo it.
Yep.
And that's where the money comes in.
Yeah, so you better maintain it and call Seal Tech rather than
Yeah.
neglect it, and then you probably have to get a whole new driveway. It's probably a point of no return, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of times, sometimes people will just want to kind of like, they know that their driveway's in need of being ripped up, but they just want to kind of like, you know, prolong that time. So we'll come in and even though it's looking bad, we'll come in, we'll make it look 100% better. We'll slow down that process, and we'll give them a couple of years to decide, if they want to save up the money to rip it up. Or, there's been other times too where, I come in, I look at a driveway and it's really in bad shape, but the people don't have the money or the funds to do it. So they just want to make it look nice. And then after 2 years, I'll come back and they're like, listen, the driveway is, you kind of like slowed this process down. Can you give us another 2 years? And I'll come in and I'll seal coat it again for them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what were the early days when you first started your business and first rock and rolling? What was that like?
That was, again, I was a police officer at the time. So, I worked 4 days on, 4 days off. I needed to do something to make money. I'd wind up spending more money, just enjoying myself going golfing and stuff. So I would go out and I really didn't do much advertising. It was just I would put a lawn sign in. I knew a lot of people. So, word of mouth. I'd do a couple of driveways just to keep busy, on my 4 days off. And gradually it just, transformed into like a full-time business.
Nice.
So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, I'm sure there's, a bunch of people who can help with a driveway or fix it up. But what separates you from the rest? What keeps you different?
Well, now, I work with Seal Master, which is the, leading manufacturer of seal coating and asphalt products. Basically what I do now is I have them, they put a 6,000 gallon tank in my yard. So now I don't go to the Seal Master or a place to fill up. Every month or twice a month, they'll come to me. They'll fill up my tank so that at the end of the day, all I'm doing is I'm just filling up in my yard. I'm not waiting on lines or wasting time traveling to pick up the asphalt material,
Yeah. So I'm sure, like other companies are like, all right, come and get in a quote. Like, how much do we need? All right, we got to go put an order in.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you can make a phone call and guys will be there.
Yep. Yeah.
Instantly.
And
Nice.
And really, I mean, the biggest benefit of doing this is it saves time, and time is obviously money. You're traveling 40 minutes at the end of the day and to get a sealer, and I have it right in my yard, and it really kind of like it's like a step above the average person that's just looking to have a tank. A tank is usually like 550 gallon tow behind tank that you use to seal the driveway. So I mean I have two of them, and I also have an 850 gallon tank. So having three crews going out there, it's a lot of downtime. So that definitely helps out.
Awesome. Is it since we're talking about the tank, is it kind of like concrete where like the thing has to keep moving or else it dries out? Is it a similar concept?
Yeah, well, most tanks, well, not all of them, but I mean, our tanks have an agitator in it that mixes the material. So, there's sand that's put into there. There's other additives that help dry to help make it darker, last longer. And, if you don't have a tank that has an agitator in there, it settles, and, you don't get a good product. And some of these fly by night outfits, they'll come in and, they'll give a great price, but, they're not putting sand into the mixture. They're not putting additives that help fortify the material, and we do that,
Awesome. So I'm sure, we just coming out of, an interesting winter. We had a bunch of blizzards and it was freezing, and now we're just starting to lighten up. So is this now when your business starts to start running at full speed? Like, is this like the prime season?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, usually you don't start seal coating until it is continuously 55 degrees warmth and sunny, and usually, April and the beginning of May, the weather is very uncertain, so you really, plus, you have pollen and, spring cleanups and different things that are blowing around, which makes it difficult to do the driveways. But as soon as that, I've been out now, I mean, my phone's ringing off the hook for people getting estimates and preparing for it. So, it is a busy time for us, but usually right after like May, beginning of middle of May is when we really get busy doing the applications.
So we're getting the work done in May, but if you want this service done, you got to get on the phone with you ASAP, because those days are going to get filled up, right?
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, commercial mainly too, because commercial jobs, there's a lot of planning that goes into it, especially when you're dealing with a strip mall or a HOA, a condominium complex. There's a lot of planning that goes involved in that. So it takes time.
Awesome. Do you want to remind you guys that we are live? So if you have a question, comment, or concern, please put it in the comments section and we'll answer it live with Matt today. Awesome. So it's the prime time to get some stuff done. Well, it's prime time to talk to you and schedule it, because we want to get it scheduled for May. We're about to be in the prime season here. So why don't you tell me some of the things you enjoy most about asphalt and asphalt management, seal tech?
Well, I like dealing with the customers, building a relationship with them. Most of my customers, everyone has my cell number. I'm not like one of those people that you call my office and speak with my secretary. So, but I like coming out to a residential driveway, taking a look at it, giving them a price to do their driveway, developing a relationship with them. And believe it or not, it's, the best advertisement is doing someone's driveway, because I do your driveway and then the neighbor comes out and it's like, wow, man, look how great this job looks. I want to get my driveway done. And then it's like a pyramid effect,
Absolutely.
Everyone's calling and seeing it. So I put a lawn sign up and I usually get, 5 to 10 calls just from that sign. And then,
Oh, yeah.
once you do another driveway in that area next door, they're like, wow, there's 2 driveways that are done, so
absolutely,
it works out good.
Beautiful. What's the most satisfying transformation you've ever done?
I mean, driveways, residential driveways, it's nice because you're dealing with one person, but when you go into a big development, and we do 150 to 200,000 square feet of roadway driveways, and doing a project from start to finish, seeing it before and after is just it really is rewarding. Plus, seeing all the people that are involved in that HOA or that development, it's really nice to get compliments, and people are like, wow, this thing looks great, we wish we did it sooner.
Absolutely. So that was, the most satisfying. What's the biggest pet peeve that you have on a job site?
It's very difficult.
You don't have to say names. You won't tell anybody.
No. Yeah, that's right.
We won't tell anybody. Your secret's safe with us.
Yeah. But, sometimes when you're dealing with developments or parking lots, you're doing it in sections. So, I mean, there could be like 20 buildings in this condominium complex, and we're doing this one small section. So we're putting out cones, signs, caution tape, trying to make sure that, people know that we're working there. And every once in a while, someone will just either squeeze through a cone that just barely fits a car through it and drive right onto the freshly sealed roadway. So, we try and make it almost impossible to get a car in there. You actually have to drive over a cone or go through caution tape. Wow. But that's definitely one of the worst things, because then you're back to redoing that whole section where that car just went through. Yep. And then the people are complaining that they got sealer on their cars and their tires and can make a mess. Yep.
What's the worst project or driveway you've ever seen?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I try and I'm all about like doing work and everything, but if a driveway is too far gone, I'd rather tell the homeowner, hey, listen, we can't do your driveway. you really need to get this paved. Basically, you're just, painting your asphalt that's crumbling here, so, I mean, we try and just make sure that, we do the right job for people. And I don't want to see someone spending money to seal coat it. Whereas, in 3 months, 6 months, another winter, and then you're just, it's all torn up, know?
So, we talked about how like this was a crazy winter and blizzard, and, I don't know what I'm talking about, but is there a coating, or is there something that, you guys could do that like, helps prevent like black ice on your driveway? Is there any like different like grades or levels? It doesn't have to be ice, but is there any different, like, this one has more texture for your whatever?
Yeah. Well, that is, again, Seal Tech, our company, we get our material from Seal Master. And again, we make sure that, we put the amount of sand per gallon, and that is something that really helps with black ice, or even just when it rains. Sometimes when you seal coat, and if you have a company come in and they don't put sand in their mix, it could just rain and you could slip on sealer. It makes it very slippery. So, you need to put what is recommended sand. I think it's anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds per gallon of sand. And again, a lot of companies will come in and they might have a lesser price, but I can guarantee you that they're skipping something in the mix. They're not putting in the sand, they're not putting in additives. That maybe they don't have insurance for their business, and we Seal Tech, we have everything. So we follow what's recommended.
Beautiful stuff. As always, we are live, and we want you guys to participate. So put a question in the comments section. We'll answer it live. With Matt today. Matt, what's one tool you cannot live without?
Well, for seal coating, I mean, you need to have a good hand brush that when you seal coat, basically when you're seal coating a driveway, let's say, you're gonna, if you have Belgian blocks along the outside, obviously you can't spray, so you have to have a nice brush that will push the sealer along the edge, get in as close as you can to, Belgian blocks, concrete sidewalks, different barriers. So, a brush is extremely important.
Beautiful stuff. Like I said, guys, got a couple new people tuning in. We want you to participate. Put a question in the comment section. We'll answer it live today. Awesome. So we pretty much covered a lot of, the work kind of stuff. How about a couple tips? Is there something that, people can do to prolong their life before, the life of their pavement or asphalt before they have to give you a call? Is there, something or different materials that they should look at getting their driveway paved with before, any tips or tricks you can give our friends out there?
I think that the biggest thing that you could do to prolong the life of your driveway is, especially if you're going that you just had your driveway paved, again, is just watching it, because the ultraviolet rays is what just sucks the tar, the oils, it dries it out. Again, it starts to make it look like grayish. It loses that luster. So, as soon as you start seeing that, that's when, you need to have the driveway seal coated. And then once you seal coat it, rather than the ultraviolet rays, sucking up the tars and the oils, it goes on the sealer. So it kind of like helps not, dry out the driveway. It's just doing the sealer. And then a seal coating should last for 2 to 4 years, depending on the homeowner. I mean, I have customers of mine that have been with me for, 20 years. And every 2 to 4 years, they'll call me up and they'll say, "Hey, Matt, I need to get a quote from you." And I'll come out and I'll take a look at your driveway and I'll be like, "Hey, Doug, your driveway looks great." But some of my customers, they just want it looking brand new. They like the black color. They like, taking care of their investment. And then other customers, I'll come and I'll look at their driveway and it's been 2 years and I'm like, "Listen, your driveway looks good. If you want, I think you could get another year." So they'll let it go for another year,
Nice. Beautiful. Great stuff. Oh, we got a question from Thomas Messina. Thomas asks, best type of snow salt that won't ruin your seal coat? Is there a certain type of salt you should use?
Yeah, I don't think any type of salt is going to affect your surface area of your driveway or your parking lot. I think that there's nothing. They're all difficult. Again, sometimes you see these pet safe salts. For your walkways and stuff. And again, I mean, you're spending so much money. I think that once you put down the salt, it's gonna erode it a little bit. The only thing that I can say that is, come the when the spring and the summer comes around, you could kind of give it a good wash, like a power wash, just to get that salt from sitting on it. But again, it's not going to, it rains, it gets diluted, so it really doesn't, as long as it's not sitting there for months.
Nice, good stuff. Thank you, Thomas, for the question. We are welcoming questions, so if you have one, put it in the comments section. We'll answer it live today. Beautiful stuff. Any other tips, tricks, or things that people should know?
I just think that again, what affects your driveway and having to have it seal coated, there's how much sunlight you get on your driveway, how much traffic is on your driveway, another thing, and then obviously is winters and plowing. So if you're having your driveway plowed, you always have to remember that you have a truck with a plow scraping that driveway. So that's clearly going to scrape and remove the seal coat on your driveway or the surface. So, the best thing to do is always maybe try and have it snow blowed, because now you're not scraping the driveway as much as a plow would.
Beautiful stuff. So I think that kind of covers, the business side of things. I hope we didn't leave anything out. If correct me if I'm wrong, but your guys' Instagram is SealTech Seal Coating, at SealTech Seal Coating, which is right here on your screen. Hopefully I spelled it right. Spelling is not my strong suit, but hopefully we spelled everything right there. Let's get to know you as the man, the myth, the legend.
Yep. I just want to see it. Yep.
Absolutely.
It's actually SealTech 1.
SealTech
with the number 1, right?
That's the website. Well, this is the Instagram account. I put the Instagram up so people can follow you and check you out. Looks like it's relatively new. So some new stuff to come. We'll force Matt to do that.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely. So let's get to know, we talked about the business. Let's get to know you. We're all part of a networking group to help each other's businesses grow. So, what do you find important or do you like about networking?
I tell you, I mean, since I've been involved with LeTip, I mean, I think it's a great organization. The people in our group, all the companies, the people there are great. They've been very welcoming to me. They definitely want to work together so that we all can build our businesses and refer people to our company. So, I mean, I'm really happy about being with LeTip, and hopefully, as time goes on, I could, put more time into it as well.
Absolutely. What kind of clients or connections are you looking to meet or have?
With us, it's everything from again, anyone who owns a driveway to anyone who owns a business or is a member of an HOA that they have big projects, small projects. We do everything. So
beautiful. So HOA managers or property managers, that'd be your ideal customer?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyone that owns some type of commercial lot of some sort. I mean, like I said, we do everything from big parking lots, big associations to, again, driveways, residential driveways. But the big commercial jobs is something that we really are focused in on.
Nice. Awesome. So besides the business, besides SealTech, are there any hobbies or things that you're interested to get away from work that you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm married for 20 years. My wife Debbie. We have 4 children. You know, I love spending time with my family. You know, again, when I was a police officer, I worked 4 days on, 4 days off. I missed a lot of stuff. So my kids growing up and different things. So now I definitely love to plan a vacation with my family, you know, get away, try and do as much things as I can with them. And now that our business is growing and I have employees, and I'm not necessarily, I mean, I still do the work. I'm more quality control, the business end, you know, so it gives me a little bit more time to spend time with my family. And as far as hobbies is concerned, I absolutely love to golf. So any chance I can split out early and go golfing, I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Nice. So the boys in the group have talked me into getting a set of golf clubs. Now, you know, I normally could just rent them, but I'm difficult. I'm lefty, so
yes.
So I had to go get my own set. So that addiction has now begun. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. You know,
now I have my own set.
The only thing I could say to someone that's just starting out, you know, that's a little bit, say, older, you're not like a young kid and you have time to develop your swing. I would always suggest to someone, especially if you love the sport of golf, is to get a lesson from a professional, because they could, you know, you don't have like 5 years of just going out there hacking with your friends. You want to try and get to a decent
playable
swing. Yes, you know, so they're like,
hang with the boys.
Oh my God, it Doug's up. Let's see where this one goes, you know. But it's a great sport though. Who cares? You know, go out, have fun, you know, enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. So I played lacrosse, basketball, you know, I played sports growing up. You know, so me and Garrett went to Golf Galaxy. We have some connections over there. So we went to Golf Galaxy. Shout out to them. We got lefty set, and they have, like, you know, the testing little area. You're testing it out and fitting and whatever. And, you know, I'm hitting them, and, you know, a couple would shank whatever left and right. But Garrett is sitting there looking like, oh, my God, what have we done? Because I'm like hitting them straight. He's like, how are you like this good starting out? Right. So hopefully I can win some money, some bets off these guys, you know, thinking I'm a rookie. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so that would be the perfect day off. That looks for you is, you know, a nice day on the golf course.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You know, and you know what, the great thing about going golfing, I mean, there's been plenty of times where I usually like to go to a golf outing, support some type of local business or organization. And, you know, most of the times I'm running from work to there. I'm in my work truck. You know, there's so much networking done on the golf course business. Someone sees your truck pull into the parking lot. I've gotten calls from just someone seeing my truck at a golf outing and saying, hey, I need my driveway done. You're at this golf outing. You know, you're sponsoring a group that I like. You know, can you come over and give me a price? And it's worked out well too. So, you know, that's the way I sell it to my wife. I just tell her, babe, I'm still at work.
Absolutely. Any hidden talents or anything that people wouldn't know about you that, you know, I can, like, you know, jump up and down and rub my head and rub my tummy at the same time. Any hidden talents?
No, you know, just I'm just a good people person. You know, being a police officer for 28 years, I listen to people. I can relate to them. I can talk to them, and, you know, hopefully it helps out my company as well as my personal life.
Beautiful. Great stuff. So last chance, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, comment, or concern, please put it in the comment section. We'll answer it live with Matt today. Any stone left unturned so far? We're going to do a speed round pretty soon, which is simple little speed round, but anything we left unsaid, anything that you want to share with the people?
Just as far as with our company, you know, we do everything from, you know, seal coating, commercial, residential. We do asphalt repairs. I also do paving. I work with a couple of quality pavers. So, you know, if I look at a driveway and it's too far gone, I always can refer a great quality paving company. We do our own line striping. I started out not doing line striping, but when you're doing commercial work and a restaurant, let's say, is closing down for a day to seal coat their driveway, and then you have to try and call up a line striping company to come in and line stripe it that same day. Sometimes it didn't work out. So I wound up going out, purchasing all line striping machines, trailers, and stencils. So you name the stencil, you know, private parking or customer parking or whatever it is, we have the stencils, and we do everything in house. So it makes it for like a one-stop shop type of thing, you know.
Beautiful. Great stuff. Great stuff. So, are you ready for the speed round?
I'm ready.
All right. Ready, Aiden? Aiden's not answering us. No, it's all right. You're good. No, it's all right. We'll just go for it. All right. So the speed round. Here we go. Matt, favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite food?
Spaghetti.
Nice. Favorite dessert?
Tiramisu.
Nice. Favorite movie?
Lethal Weapon.
Nice. Favorite TV show?
I don't watch too much TV.
All good. How about any streaming? Anything you're watching on Netflix, Hulu, any of those 20,000 streaming platforms now?
I love Yellowstone.
Nice.
With Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
So
I like that too. And then what? He left to do a movie, and then it kind of like paused.
I know.
And now it's a spin-off of them being Marshals or something.
Yeah.
Are you all caught up? You watched it all?
I watched the first Marshal, and I don't know. It was good. I liked it. I liked the actor Grimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Luke. But it was just I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just
missing. You need Kevin. You need Kevin.
Kevin. You need the sister in there, and all that. Such a horrible thing for it to end. I wish it wouldn't have.
Absolutely.
And they could have went on for years.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we got two spinoffs, the Marshals and like the sister and the husband or whatever. They're doing their own spinoff too.
I like to see that because he was a great actor in that too. The husband.
It was like, I don't know if you ever seen Sons of Anarchy. It was like Sons of Anarchy on horses.
Yes.
There you go. Favorite sport?
Golf.
Nice. Are you a football guy at all?
I am.
What's your favorite team?
I've been a Giants fan since I was a kid with my father.
Nice.
So
we actually
my
have
brother.
We have some promise this year. Hopefully, we always say that, but then so hopefully we actually have some light at the end of the tunnel this year.
Yeah.
Hey, any speed round questions from you?
Favorite type of music?
There you go.
I guess I'd probably have to say country.
Nice.
Favorite artist?
Yeah.
Tim McGraw.
There you go. Is that also being played on the boombox on the job sites, or is it
no? We can't be distracted with music. We'll the work won't get done.
There you go. So one of my favorite shows is Ted Lasso, and he asks on the show, he'll ask people on the show, like, first concert, best concert. What was your first concert? When was the best concert you've ever been to?
I saw Ozzy Osbourne when I was young.
Nice.
I love that one. And
did he bite the head off a bat?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I don't think he did on that one. I don't think so. Besides that, I think my seats were so far up, I probably couldn't even see it anyway. It's not like nowadays when you have all these big screen, And I also saw Kiss when I was young too. Nice. I'm not a big concert. My wife loves to go to concerts. She's at PNC Art Center whenever she can. Her and my daughter. So
coming up to prime PNC time soon. Absolutely. I think that's our speed round right there. And Aiden, you got anything else? No, that's the speed round. Music, food, TV, sports. Last chance for the people at home if they want to participate. Put something in the comment section. But I think that pretty much covers the speed round. Any stone left unturned? Now we know everything about Matt from Seal Tech. Matt, do you have any questions, comments, concerns?
No. I'm just glad you gave me the time to come out here and talk about my company and myself. It was great time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming and joining us. And if you need any Seal Tech services, definitely reach out to Matt. And that's at Seal Tech Seal Coating on Instagram. Hopefully someone's tuning in there and answer the questions.
Yes.
But yes, that's the Instagram account at Seal Tech Seal Coating. So check them out, give them a like, give them a follow. The website was also was it sealtech1.com?
Yep.
I'm just gonna sealtech1.com. Check out the website as well. And I think that pretty much covers it today on LeTip Live. Matt, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Doug.
Awesome. And thank you guys for watching LeTip Live. Bada boom.